Sam Craigie a significant obstacle in his way this evening. Of course, you can watch Kyren Wilson against Fan Zhengyi on Discovery Plus, but our focus is here on Table 1. It's Ali Carter, the defending German Masters champion, against Sam Craigie of Wallsend in the north of England over the best of 9 frames, the first of 5 to play Trump in the semi-finals tomorrow. And it's good evening to Neil Folds.
Yes, good evening, Philip. Very interesting evening of snooker we have here. That these two, in fact, I like the whole of the quarterfinal lineup. See that we win and Trump win. It's a good mix, isn't it, of experience, proven winners, and very much up-and-coming players, of which Sam Craigie is undoubtedly one.
Appearing in just his 3rd ranking quarter-final tonight, Craigie, and looking to break new ground. Never been to the last 4 of a ranking tournament before. And up against one of the form players of the last couple of seasons in Carter, of course. There's a gulf in terms of experience at the sharp end of events like this in Carter's favour, but Craigie has beaten Carter in 2 of their previous 4 meetings, including here in this event. So he'll certainly have plenty of cause to believe that he can be triumphant this evening if he can find his A game, and that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the worst kept secrets of what a very talented player Sam Craigie is. He's been doing all his playing on outside tables. Of course, it's a little different here to the norm. Still kind of in the spotlight. On the other tables in the main arena, but still isn't on the show table until tonight. Very straight human.
No.
He had a terrific run in the UK Championship. Not the most recent, but the one before. Played some brilliant stuff. Then he seems to go missing for a while. But his best is very good. I've always liked him as a player. And you're seeing already that he's quite attacking in his style. Good split that.
And that quarter-final at the UK Championship last season was very nearly a semi-final. He led Mark Allen 4-2 in that match. Allen ended up winning the last 4 frames to deny him.
Yeah, but in Ali Carter, of course, he has a very tough, highly competitive match player to beat. That would be his problem. An in-form Ali Carter over the last few months to a year, of course. He's the defending champion at this venue. So in no way this is a tough match for Craigie. He's going to try to make it a tough match for Carter.
He beat Sean O'Sullivan 5-2 in his qualifier, Craigie. Then Liam Pullum of Yorkshire. He Guo Zhang 5-1 in round 3, and then Xu Se in a tight match last evening 5-4. Made a half century in the decider to win that
20.
one. His season up until this event has been relatively modest, nothing better than the round of 32, which he's made a few times, but as we know, it only takes one really good week
25
to transform a player's career, particularly one like Craigie, who's lower down the rankings, currently at 50 in the world. We saw what has happened to Zhang Anda's game after making that English Open final initially,
26.
losing narrowly to Trump and then winning the International Championship.
Yeah, I mean, I'd put him down as a very dangerous opponent, 50 in the world or not. You know, he's someone in that sort of middle rankings that you don't want to play, especially if he does play like he has been this week. I think he's got the potential to be well inside the top 32, and you know, without trying to go
30.
too overboard about a lot of players. You know, he could end up as a top 16 player if he knuckles down. That's not quite happening yet. Like you say,
32.
to lift the trophy on slightly. And a sprinkle for better things. Made a nice start here.
He's already guaranteed £11,000 and points for getting this far. That would jump up to 17,500 were he to win tonight. He's up to 39th on the one-year list with the points that he's accrued thus far.
He's just a bit off straight on this. He'd like to be straighter, but he's thinking, how can he get through onto that bottom left-hand red? I mean, he might want to play it with left-hand side, but of course, he's very good at hitting through the centre of the ball. It's quite hard to use side on these fast and slidey cloths. But left-hand running side would probably take him down the table, but he's worried that, because you can miss the pot playing that sort of shot on these conditions. It's taking a minute, which is fair enough. It's just getting on the next red that he's concerned about. So not playing it with side. I don't think that's necessarily his style, but he's a finished job.
30 hits.
Well, it's going to have to be a difficult plant, and this is difficult, I would say. Playing the first red thinner than the potting angle to straighten the other red. This could go wrong. You can see the distance between the two balls. Beautiful shot, really good.
A very positive shot as well, because clearly it carried risk. Had he missed it, Carter would have been back at the table with a good chance to counter. So, confident shot. He had a very impressive amateur career, Craigie. He was national champion at multiple age levels. He won the World Under-21 title, which earned him his professional status back in 2010. He has fallen off the tour a couple of times, but got himself back on again. Maybe he's now ready to take that next step in his career. Picked up a few battle scars along the way, 54. A few disappointments, some highlights. But a win against one of the form players, not to mention the defending 55. Champion, well, that would be a big deal for him. Not least because it would be a new high in his career, a semi-final in a big ranking event.
Well, he wouldn't have played that shot, but he'll take it.
62.
I think he must have played on the red that he's closest to the left corner. But nudging the other red means he can now play the red he hit. That's the red he played on. That'll be saved for in a moment. So left-handed, red-black needed. It's hard to think how he could have started this match any better than his contribution.
63.
Very impressive stuff. The plant in particular was missable. Had to be made, but he played it very calmly. Played it as though he expected to get it, and he did.
71.
So only 59 left. You've got to think this frame is over as a contest, but he wants to keep this break going now. Keep Carter in his chair. It's that by quite a margin.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose he could have rolled it in, but even then Ali Carter's happy to concede that frame.
Yep, Carter happy to just get on with frame two, but that is a very nice start from Sam Craigie. A break of 71. Very fluent contribution here in Berlin for a 1-0 lead. So a terrific start from the underdog this evening. Sam Craigie, the world number 50. Break of 71. Ali Carter opting not to come back to the table. He needed multiple snookers.
Yeah, I must say, I thought he might do, knowing Ali, just to get a feel for conditions and maybe attempt to get the snookers, but he wasn't interested in doing that. Even in frame one, when that will be the time when you might carry on.
Carter won their most recent meeting emphatically. That was at the Turkish Masters in 2022, 5-0 in the round of 16. He also beat Craigie in a decider back in 2017 in Shanghai.
I think what he's going to have to do, though, to beat him again tonight is keep him there. Keep him under that bowl cushion, because he's a dangerous player when you give him something to aim at. I know that Carter is the player that's there this time, but I think that sort of tight game mightn't suit Craigie, because his season's been a bit in and out, as you pointed out. There's the scene. Of course, we've done down to the one table in the centre only tomorrow, and that's when this place really does come alive. It's been great all week anyway. The crowd has been a terrific tournament as usual, but finals weekend, semi-final and final here in Berlin is, I can honestly tell you, if you've never been, it's the most magnificent atmosphere.
Absolutely, and when everyone's attention is trained on the one table, the atmosphere really is something else. It's great throughout the week, but of course, as Carter makes a mess of that one, there's so many competing matches for the audience to enjoy that the focus is never on one particular match with this open plan set up, but that all changes tomorrow. And of course, all of these players are desperate to be there.
Just might have heard the applause and seen the scoreboard there that Kyron Wilson in that opening frame has made a century break, just clearing up the last few colours.
Bit of luck there for Carter in not leaving anything after erring on the safety.
Yes, he got the double kiss on that red, and I thought, to be honest, I was a little surprised he played it, that red on the left cushion, which he double kissed. The double kiss looked very much on.
It's been a relatively serene run to this quarter-final for the defending champion. He was pushed to a decider by Michael White, but you always got the sense he was going to come through that one. White recovering from 4-2 to force the final frame, but since then, Carter has only dropped 3 frames in 3 matches, including a whitewash against his fellow Essex cueist Zach Shurty yesterday. Well, that was a chance for Craigie to get back in. That's something of a let-off for Carter. And he knows it.
Yeah, every time I think of Sam Craigie, I think of the fact that he had glasses for a little while, about 2 or 3 seasons ago. He tried these glasses, seemed to be part of everything with them. I watched him practicing, never saw him miss a ball. And for some reason he discarded those, but couldn't have needed them that badly, I suppose. Anyway, just on that other table, confirmation that Kyron Wilson hardly could have started any better over there with the century. Cleared up all those balls remaining, as we were saying, and it's an excellent start.
Three.
So Carter gets on the score sheet there with the red, and now there's a few more on here. I'm just looking at where you see the balls when they come to rest. I'm sure the pink spot must be occupied, so I get the feeling it surely must go onto the black spot. I can't think that the pink spot is free. Actually suited on it right now, rather than just embedded in the top of the bunch.
7.
Referee for this match,
8.
Kevin Dabrowski, the official, and good referee as well. I see European referees playing a much bigger part in the game these days, because he travels a lot to the UK to officiate as well. He's pretty decent, one of the better ones. Of which, I mean, I say that as if there's any doubt about the referees these days, but they're all very good.
15. 21.
It had the makings of a good match. I get no reason to think it won't be. I expect this to be a contrast, but good match between two players who've got a similar sort of a cue action,
20.
actually, but I think Carter's got a bit more nous to his game. Craigie is pretty lethal at times with that very straight cue action. So I think we can expect a good game tonight.
Craigie owns the joint highest break of the week, 142 with Jordan Brown. Kyron Wilson has just made the 41st century here at the Templedrum this week, but has Carter landed on anything here going into the bunch? He's got plenty of action on the cue ball, but at first sight it doesn't look promising. He scored pretty heavily this season, Carter. He's made 30 centuries himself. It's been the consistency, aside from winning this title last season, which was his first in 7 years in terms of ranking tournaments. Of course, he was runner-up last season as well in the Players' Championship to Sean Murphy, was runner-up this season to Trump at the Wuhan Open, and of course to Ronnie O'Sullivan in the Masters. So a lot of deep runs, and this is yet another one.
Ali Carter, 28.
But has to settle for 28 in his bid to level this match up.
Difficult shot, that, playing against the nap of the cloth. You've put a bit of side on it, goes slightly the opposite way to what you think. And already a slight concern, I would say, for Carter, because he's presented this chance to Craigie. And he likes to hear the sound of the ball hitting the back of the pockets, the way he hits them and the way he plays with quite a lot of authority. The man from Wallsend. Well, I think he thought he'd edge into the bunch there. That is a phenomenally good kiss. I mean, it really is. That cue ball is going nowhere that's any good. It was an incredibly fortunate kiss, I have to say.
Snooker, something of a family affair in the Craigie household. His younger brother Stephen is a former European junior champion.
Eight.
It's quite close, isn't it? Kevin Dabrowski very interested in that. His cueing, waistcoat very close to that red.
11.
Interesting route there, right down that right channel of the table, which I'm sure he got into the cue ball a bit too much
15.
on that shot. So the break is turning into a little bit of a struggle. This red up into the yellow pocket to continue it is not easy. Always has put a good ball though, Craigie. He really is dangerous, and this angle on the blue is one that could easily bring reds into play. This is probably the biggest shot of the frame coming up. It's how often the case, you know, you see the red split nicely and you realise that he's
21.
got a choice of 3, none of which are very easy. That could have been a lot better. I can't see what he could have done differently there. He's on one, but it's a bit of a test. But look at the reds now, goodness, they're absolutely perfect. I mean, you could even pot the yellow and play on the red down the cushion if you wanted to. But it's very tempting to play down into an area where any of the 5 you could land on as well. What a chance this is for 2-0. He's behind in the frame, but you feel he's a very strong favourite because the reds, courtesy of that shot where he split them,
25.
now in prime positions.
26.
He'd be really disappointed if he wasn't to clinch the frame at this opportunity.
33.
Stretching a bit with his left hand. He's pretty good with his opposite hand. I've noticed that he looks almost the same in reverse. That's usually a sign of someone that's competent. O'Sullivan, of course, is the best I've seen with his opposite hand. The best I've seen with his normal hand as well, but that's a different story.
41.
Yeah, there's nothing awkward in the way of a clinching visit here for a 2-0 lead
42.
for Sam Craigie, who started very confidently. The 71 break he made in the opening frame showed real intent.
Yeah, I mean, he had one stroke of luck when that cue ball was drifting down the table from his colour, and he got a half-ball kiss on the red, which kind of reinvigorated the break. The rest of it has been very good.
He's not going to need the red up the table to leave Carter at the snooker's required stage.
Yeah, that one's a bit close for comfort. Just went off the right jaw. He'll check the scores. He'll realise that he could do with playing on the black here, I think. Of course, all the pink. Playing on the blue just means he needs the red. So knock the black in, and then you're 37 in front, Sam, and you've made a very bright start to this evening's match.
Yeah, the pot is all important here. Position secondary. Just the one snooker, so obviously he wants the red as well, but it's looking likely that Carter's going to be 2-0 behind.
Gave it everything. I mean, he wanted to be closer to that red.
Craigie.
There's always the chance of the snooker, and it might happen right here and now. He's got a full ball at the red. He could get the snooker behind the brown. frame is still alive.
That shake of the head told the story. Because there's nothing safe to come to Craigie's rescue, were he to miss this red and leave it for Carter. In one shot, we'd have a new favourite for the frame, and that's how quickly things can change in this sport.
Yeah, one snooker. I think the level that is played now amongst the top players, you know, if you leave them needing one snooker, someone like Ali Carter, you're kind of asking for trouble. Now, I don't think Sam Craigie did anything wrong. He just missed the red. He tried very hard to pot it. But now he finds himself in quite a bit of trouble. He's so far in behind the brown, I don't know if he can go off that right cushion without playing it with a lot of right-hand side. And the red is at an uncomfortable distance away from the cushion as well, so you've got no way of hitting it directly off a cushion or cushion first. What I'm saying is it's very easy to go around the back of it, whichever way you go. This is an ambitious way. I think he's looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 cushions. So left cushion, bolt cushion, the cushion where he's standing, and the left cushion down the table here. It's a great effort. Oh, what a fantastic shot. Marvellous escape to a very awkward snooker.
The crowd enjoyed that, and it was a full ball contact as well. I think Craigie did too. What a shot. Because this would be a very hurtful frame to lose, and he's not out of trouble yet, clearly.
No, but I think the swerve's on here. I don't think he'll be I don't think as concerned by this as the previous one. That was a nightmare snooker that he judged to perfection. At the moment, he seems to have all the answers. Trouble is, of course, it is the kind of table which is conducive to laying a snooker. Although I think not on this occasion. Well, there's one less ball to worry about with the yellow going safe. A, to get the snooker, and B, even if he did get the snooker, the clearance would be more difficult. So, dare I say, a little bit of breathing space for Craigie and something here. Don't know if he can get through to the potting angle, but he'd just like to put this red away and get this frame put to bed. If he can get to it with a trace of side to make the pot. No, I don't think so. It's a quite dangerous shot, I think. Possibly have got enough up there, but didn't. So I think clearly Carter would have started favourite for this match, quite rightly. But if it does go 2-0 to Sam Craigie, then it's really opened the match up quite a lot.
Just the 2 tables in use now, of course, and 2 becomes 1 come tomorrow afternoon. Semi-finals over the best of 11 frames. Judd Trump to play the winner of this one. Of course, Carter beat Trump after Trump missed match ball at the Masters recently. Still searching for the snooker he needs to turn this frame around.
Well, of course, Carter will take the opportunity of putting a red in a high-value colour, and then the search for a snooker will continue. Not played that very well. Because he has to pop this black, or else in the multiple snookers it probably would concede the frame, I think, if he was to miss this. Well, he hasn't missed it, so it's 1 snooker. Again, the frame is not over here because the yellow being brought into play because it's the ball on.
Ali Carter, 8.
A ticklish one, this. I mean, I think the natural 1 cushion escape is the middle pocket's kind of in the way. Might hit it hard and square it up off the cushion. He's pretty good out of snookers, I think. All of them he's hit the whole of the ball.
Well, he has managed to get in behind the black. Keeping the pressure on here, Carter, making Sam Craigie sweat for this 2-0 lead.
I suppose like anything else, Philip, isn't it? If you keep laying snookers, however good your opponent is at hitting them, they will eventually miss one. This is another one that is not simple. And of course the free ball comes into play. I don't think he can't worry about that. He needs to try and hit the yellow, and that's bad enough anyway. So coming around 2 cushions with side, goodness, this really is missable. It could hit the brown on the way through, on the way past the yellow if he isn't careful. Very awkward. But he negotiated a difficult one earlier on that last red. The fact that he's using right-hand side, I mean, he could very easily miss this. Well, he just hits them all full ball every time.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? Not just hitting them, as you say, but hitting them square in the face. Carter must be wondering what he's got to do by way of hiding the cue ball, but he's going to keep trying. This time it's not quite a snooker.
This is new angles McManus, isn't he? Now that he's retired. But Carter will continue to try and find this snooker that Craigie will eventually miss.
And these are big early moments this evening, because if Carter were to pinch this frame, it would be a very hurtful one for Craigie to lose.
2.
When he looked nailed on for 2-0. Might take a bit of a mental toll if he finds himself at 1 each instead. Carter then in the match. But
Carter,
there's the
2-frame conceded
concession.
frame.
So Sam Craigie, courtesy of some excellent escapes from some very challenging snookers, has been able to double his lead. What a start for him to the evening in his bid for a first ever ranking semi-final appearance. He's got the defending champion under early pressure, winning 2-0.
third frame.
So Ali Carter with work to do, having battled for all he was worth to get the snooker he needed, and he laid some good ones. Sam Craigie was
Quiet as possible, please.
up to the task. Breaks of 71 and 65 from him to lead 2-0.
Yes, I suppose from Ali Carter's perspective, maybe even just the fact that that last part was quite tough going for Sam Craigie might have just put him out of his stride a bit, even though he still won the frame. He's just looking for anything sometimes in a match where you can gain a positive. And the only thing I would say is that every snooker that he was put in, he was completely up to hitting. So he didn't really gain a great deal, Carter, even from trying.
Certainly a novel situation for him this week. He's been dominant in most of his matches. Yes, Michael White forced a decider, but Carter was in front throughout that match. Now he finds himself behind. But he's feeling very good about his game at the moment, with so many wins under his belt of late. Appearing in his 55th ranking quarter-final, Ali Carter. Oh, goodness. Well, if he gets away with this, he'll be very fortunate, and he has. He's having the run of the ball at the moment, for sure.
Certainly has, and Ali Carter wasn't very quick onto his feet. It's sort of a thing that you do sometimes out there, and I've done it myself on playing days where you feel you don't have any luck and you sort of spend a bit more time in your chair to sort of let it sink in that you've been a bit unlucky. The in-off, of course, gives all kinds of options, but in the jaws of that right corner gives you none.
It's a minor miracle that the cue ball didn't go in there, and it would have been an easy starter. This is anything but easy. And that's a very good pot from Carter, who didn't allow the frustration he no doubt felt to affect his shot. And maybe that's an area of his game that he's improved in combination with coach Chris Henry of late. He's talked about it, about the mental side of the game and staying patient, not allowing moments that go against you to throw you off course.
Yes, but it's an early in for Carter, and he has to do something with this chance. Well, that'll be okay, landing on that red.
10.
Question whether he can afford to play on the black, because when the black is respotted, yeah, I mean, it's pretty accessible. He could play on it if he wanted to. It's not surrounded by reds or anything, which would be a reason not to play on it just yet.
11.
So this is now a gilt-edged opportunity for Ali Carter to get a frame back.
And one that he's created with that very tough initial red. Very missable. Sam Craigie was entitled to think he'd got away with it. He held his hand up in apology that he'd left things as he did after the miss, but this was very well cued.
Yeah, it really was, you know, after not being on one. Not a nice shot to have to play. think you're right. I think he uses it as a fuel these days. If something goes against him. So now Sam Craigie for the first time sitting out, watching.
A measure of Carter's consistency this season is that he's
34.
now up to 8th in the one-year ranking list for getting this far. His official world ranking is 11, but his provisional end of season ranking sees him well inside the top 10, so it's been quite a return to form, having spent a couple of seasons outside the top 16, and was even, he told us during his run at the Masters, considering quitting the sport altogether and becoming a commercial pilot. So his decision to persist with what he does best has certainly paid off. Now in his 45th year, Carter, he's been through a lot off the table, as we know. Oh, but hang on, that has gone awry positionally. End of break.
I think he's
42.
given the impression that the bottom cushion was a bit springy. Didn't think the keyboard would go that far. Let's have another look at this. Yeah, it might have been a square and a bit bouncy, rather than a sort of sliding away to the left and seeing the cue ball on the bottom red. Goodness, that's not a good shot either. Oh dear. That is a worry, because he was just getting into the match and he's presented a chance straight away. So a critical moment for Sam Craigie. Can he take advantage?
Well, that was a double whammy for Carter. The sense of injustice at the lively bounce. But then to gift Craigie an in, having done the hard work himself in creating a frame-winning chance. What a frame this would be for the underdog to clinch. I mentioned Carter is playing in his 55th ranking quarter-final. For Craigie, remember, it's just his 3rd. So this is relatively unknown territory for him. But what an opportunity he's got. To consolidate a very promising start he's made.
8.
Not ideal there.
No, he's overscrewed with his opposite hand. I mean, it's a key shot to get nicely on his next red from whichever colour he chooses. Get the cue ball off this yellow with the angle. He's going to be travelling at a little bit of speed. Don't get too close to any reds. Oh, he's hit the blue. He's now got to play a recovery. It's not bad. If he can reach this without the rest,
10.
it's not too bad. I don't think he can. Maybe a slightly taller player could get to this without the rest. Big shot. And that's very good. That's really good. I didn't think he looked all that comfortable on that, but it wasn't reflected now. And the shot went. I mean, what an opportunity. Critical moments. Carter is,
80.
whether the cushion's bounced or not, he's certainly to blame for the safety shot which hit the jaw of the pocket.
19. It's
a great opportunity, but there is pressure here on Craigie to deliver on this unexpected chance to take a 3-0 lead. Biggest night of his snooker life. Looking to achieve something he's
27.
not previously been able to against one of the best players in the world right now.
It's a little short of pace as well, which means
34.
try and find either a gap or a cannon or something here. Really nice. Really nicely
35.
played. He could even play the blue if he is straight enough on it. The blue is just in the wrong direction, but I get the feeling it's going to be all about that right-hand red. Dare he play it now? May not be perfect to do so.
41.
But he is going to have to face that problem. If he played the red down the cushion and screwed back to where he is now, he could roll the blue in and then all the problems are over. Because he's still going to face the hurdle of the red. Be a brave shot to take it on at this stage, but the other two reds are not ideal. I think you should have a look at this one down the cushion. Only time will tell, but with any luck he'll still get the opportunity to play on it. But the tendency, of course, is to play on the most difficult red as late as possible when you accumulated a few more points. But that's going to be the big shot of the frame. Tried to get it out instead. If he could have his shots again, I wonder would he have done this slightly differently now, in hindsight, of course. Now he's got an awkward shot. Tried to hit the top side of that red and just flick it out and be on the other one, maybe. But he's knocking in so many good shots at the moment. This is almost where he was in that previous yellow, which he controlled well, but even better, he'll need control here. Very delicate shot to play the yellow across for the red down the cushion. This is even more difficult. Massive shot, the next one.
Sam Craigie.
He got pretty close.
He certainly did. I mean, he had to hit it hard because it was the angle to get across for the red, but it's a really difficult shot.
So now this tricky final red, this all-important ball in this third frame is for Ali Carter to try and pot. And it's right in the middle. So a big frame once again. An eventful one. Carter was in, lost position, perhaps unluckily. Then played a poor safety. Oh no, he's overcut the black.
Well, he took a long time on that. He stood over that shot, down on the shot for a very long time, and you could sense that it was, there was a chance he would miss it, although you don't fancy he would get it. And Craigie's not missing many, even that blue nearly went in. So Ali really has missed one there. He didn't get anywhere near it.
Well, that's what pressure can do, even to the best. Massive frame, as Neil said. No exaggeration, because there's a world of difference in a race to 5 between 2-1 and 3-0.
Is he straight enough to hold here? Because he will need the blue. If it was just a ball's width further up, it would be easy. Brown to blue. If it's to go all around the table, presents a problem of its own. He hasn't played the green all that well. All he wanted to do was just stun across, not hit a cushion. Now he's got to hit multiple cushions unless he can just hold. Very, very good shot. The brown went in the side door, but he only ended up hitting one cushion. I have to say, it was a well-controlled shot. He is in very good form tonight, Craigie.
And crucially, he's showing metal under pressure, and there's a lot of it out there this evening. for both players, of course. Carter going for an unprecedented hat-trick in this tournament, looking to make a successful defence of his title. Craigie looking to break new ground in playing in his first ever semi-final, and he's made the perfect start. He's won another tight frame, and now the captain is under a lot of pressure, with Craigie extending his lead here in Berlin to 3 frames to 0, 2 away from the last 4. Another wonderful atmosphere this evening inside Berlin Templedrum, and what a start from Sam Craigie. All 3 frames have gone his way. Ali Carter might easily have won the 3rd of the evening and was going very nicely, having launched a break with a terrific red, which was very difficult, but then ran out of position, clearly at the view that he got a lively bounce off the top cushion, then played a loose safety. He did get a second chance, but overcut the black, and Craigie punished him. Trying to make something happen now, Carter. This is obviously a huge frame for him before the interval. 4-0 behind would be a big ask. Not unprecedented, indeed. It's happened in this tournament. Si Jiawei was 4-0 behind to Liu Hao Shan in qualifying, and he's now in the semis.
But I think it's the way he lost the 3rd frame, because the moment it happened really where Craigie missed that blue, which was tough. And you thought, well, okay, that could be where Carter pulls back into the match. Knocked the red down the cushion, as you say, missed the black. So to say he's missed the boat, he's not quite right, but he's put himself under a lot of pressure now. Craigie doesn't look like he's going to miss much. I mean, I don't want to put the curse on him, but these pots are all going into the centre of the pocket, aren't they? Even the blue nearly dropped in that last frame. And Carter knows that he's playing someone who's absolutely thundering balls into the centre of the pockets here on the main table at the Templedrum. It's incredible, really. It's such a good sight to see someone potting so cleanly and with such accuracy at pace.
Yeah, you can see what a classy player Craigie is this evening, and something of a mystery that he hasn't achieved more than he has to this point in his career. But the way in which he's negotiated a number of pressure balls this evening has been impressive.
Yeah, 16. Like I say, everyone knows what he's capable of. We've seen glimpses of it. More of a prolonged effort in that UK Championship in York 2022. We played terrific. But you've seen bursts of good form, but now he's getting to the sort of the business end of a prestigious ranking event here, and he's taking apart the defending champion.
His career high ranking helped by that run to the last 8 in York last season. 33. And this frame is now out of Carter's hands. He's just got to be mentally prepared in his chair in case Craigie goes wrong here. That's where you need a bit of luck when you go into the reds, and it could have been better for Craigie. He may have won.
Yeah, they were quite well scattered anyway. The way he's going to have to play with the rest is not nice, quite honestly. And there's no other option, it seems. Nothing down in bulk that he can look at. He either goes for the red that's on the pink spot, or he doesn't go for anything. Engrossed crowd here in Berlin. Their local player went out on day 1, Lucas Kleckers. Didn't play well against Judd Trump, but it has not really made any difference. They just love snooker. This is difficult, goodness. It's just a horrid shot. It's one of these shots, if you're going to play it, you might as well stand at that end rather than lean across like he was trying. At least if you're standing at that end, you're right behind the line of the shot. Makes it slightly easier, but there isn't anything easy about this.
Yeah, when you're that far away from the shot as well, and playing with extensions, very difficult. You don't really have any feel for the shot, do you?
Problem is, he could easily pop this and he might not be on the colour, so that's where it could be hiding to nothing, this shot.
He doesn't like it, and you can see why. He doesn't want to give Carter an easy in here, having got him under pressure at 3-0 down. Big shot, this. Yeah, he's done well, and he had to just focus completely on the pot there. He hasn't got position to go with it.
This is the point, isn't it? I'm making, you know, you pop one of those, and you're not on a colour, you miss it, you leave everything. He's not hiding to nothing, but he did not play it well. Now he's got to pull something out of the wreckage here and try and keep this break going. Even on the blue, he's got awkward cueing. It's just getting more difficult. He was right to take his time on it. Oh, I don't think he had a safety shot on that red. I think if they're in the middle of the table, he can knock them all in without touching the sides, but we've all got our limitations, and at some point he might miss something. He knows it. He's doing the right thing, though. He isn't rushing into any option. He knows he's got the upper hand. He's probably going to have to play the blue, but it's difficult. If he could roll it in, maybe could he block the pocket with it? Don't like to roll balls in very much.
This is very hard, isn't it? Oh, what a pot. That is a fantastic pot from Craigie. He deserves position. He hasn't got it, but what a bit of cueing that was.
28.
Well, it's incredible. It was an incredible shot. Maybe the reason he's not on a red is he might have been half playing to finish down there, because, I mean, he thundered this in. He's some potter, isn't he?
Well, that's certainly up amongst the shots of the week. To be cueing down like that, bridging over another ball.
Do you know, he's looking at this ready to the bottom left here. Doesn't want to take on one too many. But Ali Carter is just hearing these balls in the back of the pocket, echoing all around the venue. He's slightly pumped up here. This red is very difficult. Again. Well, I'll tell you what, he's not playing well, isn't he? Because that was very close as well.
Sam Craigie.
Difficult to keep coming up with miracles. That blue was something else. But he's not left anything easy for Carter. He could easily have left the red just north of the yellow. He hasn't. Carter hasn't had a great deal of table time, really, aside from that break of 42 when he was going nicely in the third and then lost position, perhaps to an unusual bounce. He spent most of the evening watching Craigie pot them. So this is a big shot now for Carter. He needs this frame. And there was a lot of pressure on it, knowing if he did miss, he was likely to be leaving Craigie.
Yeah, Carter was back in his chair before the balls have stopped rolling there. He's been, well, he's been pummeled, hasn't he, in these 3.5 frames, let's be honest. Craigie's been superb. The couple of balls he's missed, he's hit really well, and he's just failed. Everything else has been drilled into the middle of the pocket. And this is a chance to just extend his lead, and he looks red hot tonight.
Goodness me, when it was on its way to the pocket, I thought there's no way that's dropping. But when you're playing well, these little things go for you.
8.
Well, it's a left-handed shot and he quit on it. That's what happened. He decelerated through it. Maybe it was because it was with his opposite hand. Maybe it was nerves, I don't know.
When you're struggling, those stay out. But he certainly isn't.
No.
This evening he's potted some fantastic balls. And nothing is going Carter's way. There's no doubt that Craigie has also had the run, but that's what happens when you're playing well. You get that. It's one of the cruelties of this game. When you're up against it, you don't get the luck that you need to help you get back into it.
16.
He's just got to keep his composure, though. He's done very well so far, but he knows that this is the point where he can almost put this match beyond his opponent. 4-0 into the mid-session would be an enormous lead. So
17.
the adrenaline has been pumping some of the shots he's been playing, but now is the time. Just keep potting balls and keep a cool head. It's a nice shot. Found the gap.
24.
Those 4 reds are almost like a wall of red down that right side, which means it's not easy to get on the black from them, but there's so many reds blocking. That's why he's playing up onto the pink.
25.
He's a little straight now, so he's finding a few problems. Very slight angle, because he could plumb the red below the black, but with all the reds in the middle of the table, it's quite tempting not to play reds that are fairly close to cushions.
Still 83 available, so all is not lost for Carter if Craigie does go wrong positionally here. But it's out of his hands, well and truly.
$31.
Yeah, I think that's sensible with 2 reds in bulk.
32.
He can play on a bulk colour if he wants to, and he just wants reds off the table at this stage, as much as anything else. And he feels this is the best way to get on a red. This is very impressive today. As I say, he's missed 2 or 3 balls, of which he's been very unlucky not to pot. Apart from that, it's very difficult to fault what he's
34.
doing. I've always liked his game. I'm pleased to see it coming to fruition this week.
Well, one more red will certainly end the frame in his favour.
35.
Who would have believed this scoreline at the outset? Carter was understandably the favourite coming in, and that's not to say that Craigie didn't have a chance. Clearly he did, but 4-0 scoreline, which now seems highly likely, would have been dreamland for this man.
Well, what he's done, he's put Ali Carter under a lot of pressure with the way he's potted in 2 frames. And when Carter had his chances in frames 3 and 4, i.e. this one, he's wilted a little bit because of the pressure that he's been put under. It's as simple as that. This is what the game does. It's easy to just play the balls, but if your opponent is knocking everything in, it makes it difficult.
Well, Carter already needs 4 snookers.
It's so impressive to watch him, and as I say, the straightness of his cueing. I can't honestly think of a player who I could compare Sam Craigie to. He's got a very straight arm. Most players bend that front arm. He grips the cue fairly tight. He's not a touch player at all. But I tell you,
52.
puts that cue back and through, and it's an absolute delight to watch him. Fantastic player. And when it's all boxes are being ticked, you see something like this that he's able to play like. Joy to watch him.
Just his third quarter-final appearance in a ranking event, never been further. He's never going to get a better chance to put that right than
60.
tonight. He has played superbly and thoroughly deserves this commanding lead.
61.
And for Carter, I think he'll be relieved to get to the interval, if only to see the momentum of Sam Craigie checked by that 15-minute break, because he is queuing surely as well, if not better than he ever has this evening when it matters most. Biggest match of his life,
69.
and he's delivering at the moment, just one frame away. He can do no wrong. Perfect positional shot. But it's been the pressure balls that he's negotiated that have really caught the eye this evening. And he's been positive at every turn. He's not refused a pot. He's gone for one or two that
81.
carried risk. Yes, he's had the odd rub of the green, but that is all part of the game when you're playing as well as he is.
85.
And now, just to set the seal on this mini session, these three balls for the century. To put him within two of a career
90.
century of century breaks. And for Carter, well, it's a long road back.
96.
What a performance from the world number 50, Sam Craigie. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And the crowd respond. He hasn't won the match just yet, but he's on the cusp after a magnificent 4 frames. Ali Carter must wonder what's hit him. Sam Craigie, 1 frame away from his first ranking semi-final appearance. He leads the defending German Masters champion Ali Carter by 4 frames to 0. Also got skiing action from Chamonix as well. More on that in due course. But we're ready to resume.
Thank you. Thank you. Frame 5. Ali Carter to break.
Ali Carter has played some great snooker in the last 18 months. One of the best players in the world right now on form, but he's going to have to conjure some magic from here. That said, the toughest test for Craigie yet to be passed, because he's never been to a semi-final before. Yes, he's got himself on the cusp with some great snooker, but he's still got to overcome the pressure of winning the hardest frame of all, and that is the one that carries him to victory.
Yes, and of course mid-session intervals can make a difference, but it would have had to make a monumental shift, I think, for this match to turn around. But 4-0 is not over. This is an extremely strong position to be in. Play a little swerve as you saw there. I know one thing, Ali Carter will not give up this match, because while at 4-0 he knows that it's not the brighter opportunity to get through, but he won't give up. If you can get a frame and not get ahead of himself too much and put Craigie under pressure, as Philip said, you know, he's never been beyond this stage of an event, although he will be going through to the next stage quite soon if he can take advantage of this. The balls have gone everywhere. Carter, I said he hasn't given up, but that was almost a shot where you feel like he might have done.
Wow.
I've never seen so many reds move in one shot, I don't think. You saw a replay of that 3 times, you'd see something different every time.
That's what he thinks of it as well.
What a chance. I think if you'd have had this chance before they went off for the 15 minutes, you'd have completely devoured it. The match would be over in a flash. Because this is almost like a practice routine, isn't it, where the balls are?
1.
It's unbelievable.
Well, he couldn't have hoped for a better opportunity to apply the killing thrust here, Sam Craigie. He's probably a bit surprised himself that it's landed in his lap as it has so early in this 5th frame. Sometimes when you've got this many options, it's a case of trying to see the wood from the trees, but what an opportunity nonetheless.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about putting the red into the green pocket here. And I think the reason he's doing that, the pink will go back on his own spot. If you can roll this red in, it clears the other red, it gets on the blue, blue on the spot.
Set.
Next thing you know, to play a couple of slightly more difficult shots early in a break would mean that the rest of it should be just falling into place for him. Anyway, let's just see. That's the method in it. Not getting on the blue just yet there then. Carter might not leave that chair, you know, except to shake hands. I know it's early to be saying that, but it is such a good chance.
Referee Kevin Dabrowski just urging the fans who are still milling around a little, because we're at the mid-session interval in the match on table 2, to remain still.
10.
It's all part of the challenge here in this unique open plan venue, but Sam Craigie has clearly taken a liking to it this week.
Yeah, the other thing I'll say about this venue, though, is that it's very well stewarded, and also the spectators have a lot of respect for the players. You don't hear mobile phones going off very often. You don't see a lot of people moving around. It's a beautiful amphitheatre, this, and a very appreciative audience. And what's he done here?
11.
I don't know how he's got himself in this predicament, quite honestly. It was such a good chance, but I think the point you made, Philip, that, you know, you can, your eyes can light up and you can end up not sure which red to take. Now he's got a horrible shot if he's going to play the brown ball. And it just looked like throwing the balls on the table in a practice session when he came to the table. Not now. Average shot time has gone down a little bit. Now he's taken on this black. This is a fiendishly difficult shot. Well, he's not even playing it. There you are, I was going to say.
Sam Craigie, 11.
So, any sort of semblance of hope that Carter can take out of this is that he's back to the table quickly. And Craigie, for the first time, has shown signs that he's just overthinking things.
Well, Carter's found the thinnest of edges on that red. Feels like it's all or nothing now.
1.
He probably could have done with a little rub of the green there, couldn't he, Carter? Just knock the brown into play and be on it, or be on something. He probably feels that something might have gone his way there for once.
Don't think he's in the mood to play too much safety from here. He'll certainly want to make Craigie earn this, because we've already seen 1 or 2 signs that maybe his opponent's already seen the winning line a little early. Oh, great pot. Great pot. Everything's got to go in now for Carter. It's do or die from here, but if you can win this frame, you just never know.
Maybe there is a slight change here. It's only early, but you just pick up the odd vibe. Carter's hoping that's the case. Because his game will have to improve out of all recognition anyway, never mind what Sam Craigie does or doesn't do from here.
11.
But he's got to start somewhere, and if you can just chip away at a break, make something happen.
12.
Prolong the evening, first and foremost.
$19. 20.
Well, it's now a golden chance for Carter to finally register a frame this evening. He would have perhaps feared the worst when he missed right at the beginning and scattered them everywhere, but he'd have also picked up on the fact that for the first time this evening, Craigie was a little tentative in his approach when he had
27.
so many options at his disposal. There is a vast gulf in
28.
experience at the sharp end of a tournament like this. Carter playing in his 55th ranking quarterfinal. Craigie just his 3rd, and he's never gone further. Carter, on the other hand, is a 5 times ranking titleist. He's won 8 professional titles. He's been in 2 world finals
35.
and now 2 Masters finals, so many battle scars for the captain.
36.
Can he bring that experience to bear and make this an awkward evening still for Craigie?
Just flicked a red on the way through there. Just held the cue ball up a touch. He wants to avoid that red on the right, so, well, he hasn't done it. That was his worry. I think he wanted a soft screw away from that red.
44.
But he's thrown the cue ball offline. He's annoyed. The shot before was the one. He just flicked a red on the way through to the red to right corner that he was landing behind. So he just escalated from there. He's got to recover the shot with his green to middle. It's very coolly done.
$47. $48. 51. 52.
41 the lead, 51 remaining, so is black. And one more red should do it.
59.
Yes, and it's been a good break this, and he had to come through and make it, of course. He had nowhere to go really, but to just start to pop balls in this match. some clapping. There may have been something happened just
66.
away close to the other table, which stopped play there for a moment. Maybe someone was taken unwell and has been taken out, but there was some clapping and a
67.
slight delay in play next door, which didn't quite infringe on this table. I think what the clapping was for, whatever it is, mercifully has been resolved. And Ali Carter has got his frame, although it didn't seem very likely
74.
when he left that absolute gift for Craigie. So, for the first time tonight, we're
75.
wondering, is there some kind of a turnaround possible? Just because of the body language and the way that Craigie started, he was so aggressive in his first 2 or 3 frames, and then, you know, a little bit timid more recently than that. But he's 4-1 up. It's a great position to be in. That's not to be forgotten.
83.
What isn't in doubt is that Carter has the form and the match wins under his belt.
86.
I believe he can still turn this around. All the pressure is off him in terms of his ranking position and the Players' tournaments coming up, the Players' Championship, the Tour Championship. He's sitting pretty for all of those. His end of season ranking is great. Guaranteed, of course, to be at the Crucible again. So it's all good for Carter. And that makes him dangerous even from this precarious position, which has become slightly less so with his first significant contribution of the evening, a break of 90. And he's now 3 down with 4 to play at 4-1 adrift.
Frame 6.
Kyren Wilson looking good at the moment on table 2
Sam
and on
Craigie
Discovery Plus, still 4-0 up on Fan Zhengyi. Sam Craigie still in complete control, but he did have a chance, and a very good one, to close out victory by whitewash just now. Didn't take it. Ali Carter stepped in with 90 to give himself a glimmer of hope in his bid to win this title for a 3rd time. Defending champion, of course. This would be one of the greatest comebacks of his career if he could turn it around. He's certainly not going to take a backward step in his bid to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got to keep him quiet, hasn't he, now, and see if he can stop Sam Craigie for a bit longer. But for the moment, he's got to get the ball out of the jaws of that pocket up there, which is not a fun shot for Carter. Brushed the jaws of the right middle there, which sent the cue ball across in behind a couple of bolt colours. That was actually quite handy for Carter. Not had much go for him tonight. It was a nice little nudge to jaw the pocket. I think Craigie probably has got a safety game that's good enough, but there's no doubt what his strength is. His clean potting and mid-range pots, and you know, when he's in his cueing and all that. I don't think he would like to get embroiled in a long tactical struggle. I'm not sure that would see him to his best effect. Didn't go for that because he felt that cue ball would crash into all the other reds, so he's played a good shot there, in fairness, in safety. I just feel the match has changed a tiny bit. It might Might still be too late for Carter, of course, if it has. This kind of match is what he would have been hoping for the outset. Chance to keep Craigie quiet, which he hasn't been able to do.
I think the reason it feels different is that it did seem like a gilt-edged chance for Craigie at the start of the previous frame, and he took quite a while over compiling 11, fell out of position and played what he thought was a safety shot, but Carter snicked in a red. And he's got to keep telling himself, I'm in a fantastic position. I'd have taken this all night long if you'd told me I'd be 4-1 up against the defending champion at the start of the evening.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a couple of these safety shots Craigie's played. He's blocked off most of the reds to the right side with the pink covering them. A long lingering look across to the other table there from Carter. I don't think he's really interested in what's happening on that table, but he couldn't look at his own shot that he was faced with, I think, because he looked in a spot of bother here. Very thin edge of this bottom red on the right, trying to make contact with. That's fine. It's a good shot. Now, what does Craigie do? Because I don't see an easy route back to bolt from anything. There may be a pot available to the left corner. The way he pots would be a little fearful if I was his opponent. Although that top red is not going into a full pocket. Ah, that is just a stunning pot. That wasn't even a full pocket available there. The red was partly in the way, and it absolutely flew into the centre of the pocket. Brilliant.
That red was just a blur, wasn't it? As you say, it was bullet-like. You'd have to go a long way to see a better pot than the blue that he produced before the interval, but that was very close.
Well, if you can follow it up with the next black, which is a tricky little shot, little soft screw. Having potted the red, of course, you wouldn't want to miss this, and these are eminently missable under pressure. But if he can stay aggressive, I think, for the rest of his career, if possible. But, you know, he is so much a better player when he takes on these big shots. Confident in the fact that he'll get them. Because confidence is difficult to get and quite easy to lose. Maybe this season he hasn't had that sort of feeling that he's going to pot everything. He hasn't been confident. Maybe that's why the results haven't been there. But a good Sam Craigie, which we've seen a few times, is a formidable opponent.
He's still only 30 as well, so there's time for him to deliver on the enormous potential he clearly has. What a red it was to set up this chance, though. Just using the full width of the pocket at the moment, but there is a lot of pressure, and it's entirely understandable. He's looking to achieve something he's never done before.
Yeah, he played a deft little cannon there, and I think he can just get onto the black into the same pocket. Doesn't want to overthink this. Golden chance to get this match won.
Turned pro in 2011, back in the days where you only got one season at it, as opposed to the two you get now with a new card. And like many before him, fell off the tour straight away, struggling to adapt to the quantum leap from the amateur to the pro ranks, and has been off the tour again since. But one thing that's never been in doubt is his talent, and it's been in full evidence this week in Berlin.
25.
Came through a tight one yesterday against you, sir. Held his nerve in the decider with a half century to clinch the match. It's all about staying in the moment here, Neil, isn't it? Just taking it one ball at a time, not thinking too far ahead.
Yeah, he's got a couple of reds over pockets, of which he just potted one. He could nudge into the bottom of the bunch here with the red sitting, waiting for him here. Didn't have to play that shot, but he might do. Yeah, he's played it all right, and he's played it ever so well. He hit it quite firmly, and I think he really is quite capable of hitting the balls hard and keeping his accuracy. Very clean potter. Needs the rest here, but the red's a formality. He just wants to get nicely on the black and inching ever closer to that winning line.
Ali Carter wondering if he's going to get another chance to maintain his title defence. Still plenty to be done before Craigie can start thinking about winning. Enormous pressure on all of these now as he come far enough there for his intended red.
48.
I don't think he has, not quite.
Wild applause from the neighbouring table. Kyron Wilson is very popular in these parts. He loves playing here. They love watching him play. And he has been in dominant form this evening.
Meanwhile, Craigie played a good shot there. The tumultuous applause did not stop him, because he knocked it in. You couldn't hear the balls clicking. There was so much cheering and applause next door. But it didn't stop Craigie.
So here's confirmation of what you can already figure out for yourselves, given the
56.
Deafening noise just now. It is the former champion Kyron Wilson emphatically booking his place in the semis, and a meeting with Si Jiahui. He's been all over Fan Zhengyi this evening. The former European Masters champion had no answer. Heavy scoring again from Kyron, playing by far and away the best snooker that he's produced this season. Looking forward to the last four tomorrow. So one more spot to fill. Is this man going to deliver?
$64.
He was taking reds and blacks here when the pressure was under. You kind of did wonder whether he would go down for lower value colours, but he's stayed on the high value ball, and he might be able to continue doing so. And we all know what that means if he keeps going, so we won't say any more at this stage. Let him win the match and then see if something extra special might happen here. Well, that's the match one. And what else are we going to see tonight?
Well, this black just for a bit of extra insurance for starters. It's already the best evening of Sam Craigie's snooker life.
Yeah, he's overscrewed, unfortunately, by a long way. It's not to say he can't pot red and a black from here, but it's not in any way easy. You need a little bit of luck to do so. The match is all over.
Only been 3 1-4-7s in the history of the German Masters, which started back in 2011.
Oh, what a shot.
Oh.
Well, there's no maximum now. I actually saw that once before, where two reds go in. You can't take two colours now, so that's no maximum, I'm afraid. I mean, it's not. I don't think you'd be that disappointed, really, although you mentioned those 3 1-4-7s. Significantly, none have been on the main table, have they? They've all been on outside tables.
That's right, yeah. Judd Trump, who Sam Craigie will now definitely play. Tom Ford and Rob Milkins last year. What a performance from Sam Craigie. A magnificent display. The biggest night of his snooker life. He's through to a ranking semi-final for the first time, and it's thoroughly deserved. Ali Carter's German Masters title defence is over. Sam Craigie is through to the last four in style to play Judd Trump by 5 frames to 1.